corner you should see a live button now. So we are live. We're here once again for our bi-weekly critique hangout. I'm online with Russell, Martin, and Linda, and we are missing Kathy for this week. So Russell is the first one in my list. So Russell, did you go shooting this week?
I did.
All right. Are we gonna? Do you have anything from this shoot this week for critique?
Sure, why not? Let me see here. I didn't have any time to go through my stuff, so I'm just quickly shaking it down. Okay, there we go.
I'm gonna click on it. All I see is you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm getting there. All right.
Nice.
Come on.
I guess you weren't quite ready, were you?
Did anybody watch the YouTube video of us?
Linda says a couple of her friends did. I won't mention.
Cool.
So on the last critique we did, yeah, there was a few hits on that one.
Yeah, I invited some people too.
Yep. Did
hey,
they?
Look at that, we're live on YouTube. Okay, there you are.
All right. And we're going to start off, because Martin's after Russell, we're going to start off with Martin first. First off, Russell, explain the picture to us. Oh,
It's a panorama, 8 shots of Headquarters Creek just off the freeway. I think there were 1 second exposures.
What lens did you use?
That is a 24 to 85, and I believe that shot was at about 30 mils on a full frame.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I love the slowing down effect. What kind of filters did you use? Because the water's so soft.
What kind of filters?
Yeah, any filter on there? Or no, just that's it.
He doesn't understand, Russell. It's dark here all the time, Martin.
Polarizer?
It was a cloudy day, so I didn't need any filters.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Because the
old
water
school.
looks like a slow breakdown even for 1 second, right? But no, that's just the way the water looks there. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. 1.3. Yeah. It was a long exposure.
Image then, and yeah. So I love it. You know, the part that stands out for me right away is the it's like moss on the left side log, and it's just picking up all the light, and that's the part I'm drawn to the most. Because I do, and I see a lot of water shots, like we do that type of stuff. Yep. It's always what else is drawing my attention, and for me, it's the log, and it's like it's capturing all the light, and just that piece itself is an incredible photo for me. So I'm walking into the picture and I'm looking at the tree. So you know that's what I see for me. And when I think of this as not one shot but multiple shots put together, it's a massive file, and I love that because you know it can be 5-6 feet wide, 8 feet wide, and that's what I'm drawn to often is the color. So yeah. For me, I love the shot. And you know what graduated filters do is they slow down the water so much sometimes that I don't enjoy it as much. And I was wondering if you did that, but this is just the way it is. That's the moving water at 1 second, and I like it more. To me, it's more natural. So you know, I understand slowing it down, but I really like that because the water coming over the rocks right here is still crystal clear, and I'm enjoying it. So for me, I don't know what I would have done differently even. I don't know, because I love it. The greens are perfect. The yellows, I love that. And then, you know, the whites of the trees. You know, I'm thinking, what would I have done differently? I don't know. I love it.
Okay.
All right, Linda, we'll go to you next. I'm writing notes. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so this is very typical of around here, and I think you captured it really well. I'm not a fan of blurred out water. I like to see some, texture's the wrong word, but I like to see a little more motion rather than just fuzz. So that's a personal thing. I don't care for the fuzz of it. And I also wonder if it would have been, I find the branches on the left-hand side distracting, and I wonder if it would have been better if it was cropped just to those branches. For me, the scene is supposed to be about the water, and so if you cropped on the left-hand side to the branches, the focus might stay again on the water. I think it's amazing how you got all the trees straight. And I like the size. I like the whatever size you cut it to. What would that be? 16 by 9?
I only cropped it to what the panorama resulted to be, minus the distortions and stuff like that. So I haven't cropped this to any particular size yet.
Okay, and it's 8 vertical pictures, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's my comment. Is I'm not sure about the left-hand side, and I personally prefer more texture in the water than blur, but I think that's a personal opinion. That's it.
Okay.
All right, I'm just. Linda said most of the things. I'm just going to go after some of the kind of the technical issues that I'm kind of seeing that come along with panoramics. So one of the things I noticed, the green rock in the middle, if you go a little bit next to that, there's a big white spot between those two rocks. I'm not sure what or why that would be there, because in my mind, because you said you haven't processed this yet.
What do you mean processed?
Well, I'm probably looking at saying you've put it together, but have you run it through your new software that you purchased?
Yes.
Okay, so back out, because there's a big white spot there that you could very easily go in with the eraser and clean up.
Are you talking to the right of the green rock?
Well, yeah, you had it there. There's a big white spot where your mouse
was in there. I think that was actually natural because there were some spots of like foam built up in this creek. So yeah, I'd have to go take a look at that individual image to see if that's actually natural, if that was a result of stitching.
Yeah. Also, over in the far left-hand corner, you've got 3 or 4 rocks very close together, and they're all really, really nice detail, except the one rock. For some reason, it almost looks like there might have been a water droplet on your lenser at that point in time. So I would look there again on your original to see what you can do there. And then...
Where are we talking here?
Right where your hand is on your...
right on the middle of the 3...
Yeah, right there. Because, well, see, that looks a little bit better, but it still seems to be not quite as sharp as the rest of the rocks around it. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. There might have been water on your shot.
Yeah, but then that would be... Oh, there's a nice little bit of CA there.
Yeah.
What's
can I go back out? Chromatic abrasion.
Yeah.
CA stands for chromatic abrasion, Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. And the other thing that kind of throws me off is the other rock on the right-hand side there, the one that's sticking out. There could be water coming across there, but for me, again, it looks like maybe there might have been water on your screen. So there's a few areas that just look a little bit funky.
Okay.
Other than that, I like it. Again, you can't go wrong doing a panel.
You can.
Chromatic abrasion, Martin?
It is.
Did you see, is when you'll get a color. around certain objects.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll see like blue or purple fringe,
Okay, yeah.
and that's chromatic abrasion. And a lot of times, my understanding is that it's the light reflecting through the lens, and that's how it's basically caused. So a lot of times in Lightroom you can remove chromatic abrasion.
Right.
And a lot of times if you see it, if Lightroom doesn't take it, you can actually go in and remove it. Other than that, I'm actually looking for, it doesn't look like it was post-processed too badly. A lot of times, did you use Huggin or did you use Photoshop to put it together?
I used Photoshop to stitch it, and then I put it into On One to put some touches on, and then I finished it off with a few little adjustments in Lightroom.
Yeah, what I would do is I would zoom in on the back, because the back's pretty busy, and make sure that everything is actually stitched.
Yeah, I didn't see anything funky going on back there, so.
Well, I see a couple funky things, but I can't tell you on my screen whether it's funky or not. So.
Yeah. Well, typically what I'll do when I still have it in Photoshop is I'll zoom in and sort of click out the areas that, like, along the stitching.
Yeah.
And I'll just sort of.
Well, Photoshop stitches them a little differently. It doesn't do it like a normal stitch. It actually, instead of doing a left and right, it actually does a really good stitch.
Yeah.
See right there. Hold right there. Go down. Go down a little bit. See, now you've got a bunch of tree branches coming out from a very dark area. And and on my screen, right where your hand is right there, there's a fourth stitch. See where the branch comes out, and then it pops up.
Oh, that right there?
No. Well, there's that one there, and just go straight up. There's another one there.
Okay.
So you got I get picked up on that all the time in my other critiques. So you really have to watch that. Before you leave, I know you're sitting in the back of my house, there is a function in Photoshop to mass align it when you flatten it. I can't remember what it is, but anyways, yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. So you got to be really, really nitpicky and watch things like that, because it's difficult to stitch when you've got trees kind of like stitch going through that. It's very, very difficult to stitch.
Oh, there's another one. All right, good to know. Good to know.
Damn, I thought I had that one good.
Well, you know.
Well, you know what? It's only through experience doing that stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right? And this is really my third panorama that I've done, right? So, at least the third that's made it to any kind of viewing, so.
We still beat you up on it, sorry.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because if these are something I want to take to sell, then I need to make sure that there's no, he did that, or he didn't do that. Yeah.
Well, why does that eye have a branch sticking out of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your next one? You can play with that after. We've only got an hour. That's 15 minutes on one picture. Not going to work.
Okay, so I know there's a few things wrong with this. Let's see if you guys pick it up.
All right. I went last, so I guess I get to go first. I'm kind of liking it. It's black and white. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure whether I'm liking it going up or down. Again, I'm not seeing it on my. Well, I see a few things that are kind of funky, but I don't know if, because it's a night shot, probably shot in black and white on your medium 4x5 or something, or.
No, this is on the D700 digital.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's pretty good. Could be hard to print. I think what I would do is I would take those little spotlights that are in the back.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of those. Give me that much more. I would happen to say there's an awful lot of black and white in it, so I might try to bring up the bridge so the bridge has a little bit more, so I know it's a bridge. The only, like, if Martin was doing this, it would probably just look like a white line going across with lights on the bottom. I know what the bridge is. I know there's pillars under the bridge. So, and I'm looking for those.
Yeah.
The only thing that's catching my eye, or for some reason, you might have made an edit about on the left-hand side, a little above halfway up. It doesn't seem to match the other areas. So I don't know, maybe there's a funky pool going on in there.
Are you talking about how the light sort of bends?
No, I'm talking about on the water. There seems to be something funky. See, the water, if I'm looking at the light on the water, everything seems to be kosher. But if I'm looking at the picture where the water kind of meets the bridge, there seems to be just I don't know why, it just seems to be funky. You know,
the edge of the light reflection?
Yeah, the light reflection on the kind of like, not the very last one, but in the middle between the last one and the second last one.
Yeah.
That little spot kind of goes funky on me.
Yeah, it is a bit strange, but that is a straight up. Oh, I know exactly what that is. There's a lamp that's pointed down at the water at that point, and that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one here, you don't see it because it's included near the middle of the light reflection. This one is offset over here on the left side.
More interesting how you got yourself out there that far. But other than that, I'm gonna leave that one with you. Could be interesting to play with. All right, we're gonna go next to Linda.
I really like this. It's very effective in black and white. I have like Bob, I have a little difficulty because I think there should be I think the pillars in the pier should be kind of more visible. They're kind of almost melding into the background, and I wonder if they could just be brought out a little more.
You cut out, your audio cut out on me there. What were you saying about the colors? I'm
just wondering if the pylons under the pier could be brought out a little more. I think a little more detail there would improve it. I guess it's a little dangerous because it might be too light, but I'd like to see a little more detail there. And the only other thing I raise is the picture kind of ends in a strange spot, and I'm just asking if it was cropped a little closer on the left-hand side, would that improve it? I don't know. But it does seem to just end, and then there's this little bit of black. But I really like the black and white and the star effects that you got. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's a little better. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, it's a try, but you see what I mean? It just kind of ends, so... I think that's all my comments. I think it's a really nice shot at night, and did a nice job.
Martin, you're up.
All right. Interesting points, you guys, for sure. I don't know a lot of what can be done or not done in Photoshop and things like that. I know you can take those lights out at the top on the far right side, those small little like street lights, and I see how that would be beneficial on the, there's like 5 of them there in a row. I can see how they're a little bit of a distraction, but to highlight underneath the bridge, that sounds really interesting. And unless we saw it, the before and after, I don't know what would be better. I just don't know. But when I crop the left-hand side, it doesn't make it any better for me. So that was interesting for sure. What else? I like the shot because of the leading lines down to the end like that. I like it.
Understandable.
I
I,
like that
we,
one better.
we
This
look at
one,
this
is
thing.
this the same shot? It looks a little lighter in the sky.
This is the original file.
Okay, yeah, because the lights have a different burst on them, and I really like them.
Yeah.
So the lights, the burst on the lights are very unique in this shot, and you can see more of the sky, and it does make it more real because the sky is there. That's very interesting. Almost looks like a building on the far right top side too in the background there, but you can't tell what it is. It gives it mystery. But I love the shot because of the flatness of the water, the reflection. So, you know, I'm not sure if you took out that post underneath the light on the pier, would it make a difference? I don't know. It adds character to it for me. So its original state, I really like this shot, Russell.
The light on the post. What do you mean?
Well, remember Bob was talking initially about that light coming down off the post under the pier, underneath the thing?
On the left side.
Whereas if we on the left side, far left side, where it's like it's underneath the bridge.
Right there.
That could have been darkened, obviously, but I like it there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's kind of one of those little things.
Yeah, it is. And if you just look at both images and you darken one and you leave the original with the, what we call a copy, and then you look at it and think, well, which one do I like more? I don't know. So it's one of those things that you could just play with just to see what it is. However, this image, the starburst on the lights, I really like as opposed to the one that you originally showed us.
Okay.
They look like windmills. I love this.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So now to tell what I guess that one right there I showed you guys. Yeah, slightly turned. So if you look down here, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I think there's banding in the bottom corner here.
With our screen, it all looks banding.
Okay, so I'm thinking that, like, I covered the rocks up down here in the bottom left and the little bit of the railing here in the bottom right, just to, you know, not make those a significant point, right? Because I didn't like those, and I need to go in and, like, I think I'll keep the original exposure off of what you guys said, because under the pier, I did actually bring that up a touch in this image, not from the original, because I think in this one here I actually lowered the exposure a smidge. So I think I'll leave that exposure alone, put a vignette on it, or maybe just clone out the parts that I don't like in the bottom corners, and then the lights and stuff. So yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Good for you. Well done, Russell.
Thanks.
All right, Martin, you're up.
Okay, let's get a shot in there.
Yeah, click off Russell and click on Martin.
So you touch on the screen share first.
You have to have Lightroom running in the background and not minimized.
I don't have Lightroom at all on this computer.
Oh, okay. So how did you show it last time? You just showed pictures
on desktop, Bob.
Yeah. Okay.
So just click on screen share, and then how do I go to desktop?
Well, bring up the picture.
Bring up the picture first.
Yep, bring up the picture first.
Then what, Bob?
All right, now go back to Google.
Oh, right.
And then go to screen share and then share the picture that should be there.
Start screen share. Okay, good.
I did. All right, I will click on you. And we will start off with the Russell, because he went last.
Cool. I like it.
All right, Linda.
Yep. It's a picture I take. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, you guys got to go by.
Where is it? Can I get there easily? Probably not.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That was a pretty
Good time on. Pardon? Go ahead.
Is it me?
I'm still waiting for Russell to finish.
Oh, I thought Martin was saying something back there. But anyway, yeah, it's a great shot. The length of the exposure on the water is right. Because if you go with longer exposure on water, then it just fuzzes all the detail out in the sky. Which this way, you get the reflection, even though it is slightly distorted with the waves. But yeah, it's anchored very well in the bottom left corner, but it's not the focal point. So you get to see the picture. And while it is, theoretically breaking one rule of don't put the horizon in the middle, it works because it is a symmetry shot. It's not a this is the sky, the ground shot. This is a symmetry shot with the distorted reflection. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Good job.
Thanks.
Thoughts, Linda?
Yeah, I love it, Martin. It's a wonderful shot. There's so much texture in the water and also in the sky. And I find it really interesting how the color is even darker in the water than it is in the sky. And I agree with Russell that the horizon in the middle is perfect. The only question I have is the rock on the left-hand side. I guess it's not possible to make. It seems like it's too much emphasis in the picture for me, because I think the story is really in the reflection in the sky. I don't know if you could crop that in a different way to reduce the size of the rock, but that's the only comment, and I'm probably just picking nits, so I really like it.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's interesting because, this is so right out of the box. I don't know if I did anything to this photo. This was a year and a half ago, and I barely knew how to shoot a camera, in my opinion. But that sunrise was magical and glorious, and I've never seen one like that since. Just like, what a freak of nature that morning was. Sunrise, it's like, I don't know, 6:15 in the morning.
It's a nice picture, but I don't know what I would do or what I could do to make it a little bit different. I wasn't there. I don't know if you could walk around and take 9 or 10 more shots of it. Yeah. It's a nice sunset, but it's not jumping out at me.
It was sunrise, but yeah, early morning.
It's not jumping out at me. So other than that, I would just listen to Russell and Linda.
And I don't listen to that guy.
And don't listen to me. It's like it's missing something. I don't know what it is. It's you've got great reflections, nice sunrise going on, but it's not popping for me. Don't know why.
I think I can do a lot with it, to make it pop, because I didn't play with the colors, like the hues and saturations of the pink and red. I didn't even.
Well, you know what? If you had your brother-in-law in a kayak going across it,
yeah, in
the picture or something like that, it would give me a story. It would give me something to hold on to.
I've
right
only
now,
done that once.
It's not giving me a story. Even if the dog was sitting out at the pier, or you had yourself sitting out at the pier, or you had a fishing pole and a chair or something at the end of this rock or something like that, it's just missing. It's just missing something.
Yeah, that that point rod that you just said on the rock, Bob, I have often used a lawn chair there because we take a lawn chair each, and I've put it out there. When an empty lawn chair is there, it's extremely inviting. So I've put it out there, and the other thing that I will do is the just a little bit off to the left here would be the a bonfire pit, and the coffee pot is there, and I often use that as a prop too in the scene.
You know, if you had a bonfire going on right now with like that somewhere within that area on the rocks there,
Yeah.
that would make me more enticed. Would be interesting to go with.
Yeah,
But
I have shot that, and it's some of the shots, but not that morning because for me the sky was everything that morning. But I'd never seen one like that in the months that I've been there. I've never seen one like that, and it was like fire in the sky. And it was literally a minute later where the pink was gone and it was just orange and yellow. So that pink was so thin a period of time. I was shocked.
okay, what's your next one, Martin?
I shot it at the farm.
I see Linda smiling there. Not sure why.
Hmm?
I see Linda smiling there.
I
She's
think your
thinking.
flip-flops on there would be cool.
There you go, flip flops. Yeah, even your kayak. If you just put the kayak in the picture.
Just the point of it or something.
Yeah. You know, just something to give me something to grab onto. I think that might be a little bit more of a catcher.
Okay, so why isn't it working for the second picture? I hit screen share.
No, yeah, don't bring the picture up first.
I did. What happened?
Okay,
Okay,
and then hit screen share and then go click on the picture.
so I click back, and I click on. I see Russell's picture, and I click on screen share. Why isn't it coming up?
No, bring your picture up first.
The picture's already up.
Okay.
If you have already clicked screen share, drag your window of all of us down, because when I started my screen share, for some reason, the screen share options popped up in behind.
Right. Okay. So how do I get rid of you, Russell?
Click on my face down below on the right.
Oh, there we
Because
go.
right now I'm probably highlighted around.
And- okay. Yep. Thank you. I had to click on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's what I was doing wrong last time. Thanks, you guys.
Oh, I've seen this one before. This one was posted all over Facebook.
Yep. So I just took the farm.
Okay, Linda, we'll let you go first.
Oh, wow. This is like old home week for me, Martin.
I was at the farm 2 weekends ago, and it was my favorite capture.
Yeah, and it is so realistic. I mean, I don't have a lot of fond memories of Manitoba, but this would be the kind of fond memories I have. There's a whole bunch of things I really love about it. I love the tinge of color, and yet it's predominantly black and white or monotone. I love that. I like that there's nothing in the sky. That's very typical of there also. I love the foreground, the little hint of the building in the back. The only issue I have is the barn is just a bit too centered for my preference, and I might crop to the edge of the biggest trees on the left. I don't know if that would.
Yeah, I like that idea too. I think that I took several shots of it, and yeah, so it's not so centered. It was the color that you see. There's the yellow and orange on both sides of the barn, and I was really trying to catch all that, and that was part of it.
Yes, and you captured it perfectly. But there are some tall trees on the left-hand side. If you just crop to the edge of them, you wouldn't lose any color.
No,
I don't think. And you might move the barn a little off center. And I'm kind of an idiot about centered stuff. So, but boy, you've got great texture and wonderful lines. I really like it.
Yeah, that's an 8x12. So if I cropped it into the 8x10 mode and I took everything off the left, it would center it to the left.
Yep.
So that's a good idea too. I like it.
That's it.
All right, now I'm going to beat you up on it.
Okay.
One of the things that Ross Cornish always taught me is when doing landscaping photography, if there's nothing in the sky, don't photograph it.
Right.
So I'm finding what Linda has said. Maybe if you'd moved to the left or the right a little bit more and kept the sky in there and not put the building in the center.
Yeah.
So I'm going to agree with that. You know, the building isn't moving anywhere, so you probably had lots of time to photograph this.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I took
The
lots.
thing that is getting me, the sky does nothing for me. There's nothing in the sky, so why bother having it in the picture?
Mhm.
So
Because that's exactly what it's like.
we like make believe. We have clouds. I don't go run around shooting the clouds when they're all rainy and pissy. So that's the only comment I'm gonna make is try to minimize the amount of sky if it's going to be nothing but white clouds sort of idea. I love the fact that you've got that orange running through the back there and the sun's going down.
That's sunrise again. Yeah.
The sunrise, yeah, the sun's going up. But we don't need the rest of the sky in there. So you could have maybe tilted the camera down, given me a little bit more snow. Try to find a way to lead my eyes into the barn and things like that. But just minimize the sky. Try to get as much out as possible. It's okay to leave some in it. Give me an idea that it's cloudy, but I don't need a third of my image of sky. That's your tip for the day.
So in the original, I'm pretty sure that I've cropped off maybe a half an inch of sky already because there was even more, I think.
Yeah, well, no, like you said, that's a family farm. So the next time you're out there,
yeah,
you can go, okay, let's try getting it out the sky. Yeah. I honestly, Martin, I could spend probably an hour just working that barn and working that area, even on that morning.
Sure, yeah.
You know, don't limit yourself to one shot. You know, one of the tricks that was taught to me is that shoot it at 2.8 f8 f22. Do vertical, do horizontal. So there's 6 shot already there in one side of it. Take a step to the left. Give me more of the bushes in it because it's kind of like it's definitely going to be a black and white with a little bit of sky in it. So in that aspect of it. So there's all sorts of things, you know, because you can go back there, and I guarantee you there's probably still snow there.
Yeah. I don't think I will, but yeah, next winter maybe.
Yep. Russell?
Yeah, it's something I'd shoot for sure if I had the opportunity. I do like the old barns and the old textures and black and white, of course. I love shooting black and white, so it's perfect for my style. I do have to agree.
Right on. Thanks. Bye.
The space off to the left isn't as important as the barn, right? So yeah, squish it in. One of the angles that I would have shot, I would have swung to the left probably 10 steps. 15 steps somewhere in there, and then zoomed in to near the back of the barn, and then the building on the right, which is probably the farmhouse. Is it? Is that the farmhouse on the right?
With a smaller building?
Yeah.
Would be a smaller shed.
Okay, so there's a bit of a story there. You know, like the relationship between the two buildings, right? Like they're, you know, kind of important to each other. But getting the colors in the sky, but like around the shed instead of on the backside of the barn, that to me would have been more interesting, I guess. Alternatively, stepping forward to the left a bit just to get past the some of the brush. That's another shot that I would have taken in this situation. But
I did take that one for sure.
Yeah, the negative space in the sky doesn't really bother me one bit because it's your skyline is not dead center. So it's not like you've abused the center horizon on this one, right? Because it's not really the center, it's the top third. So while there is no data up there, it doesn't bother me. That's about it.
Thanks.
There you go.
So what is going on here? As soon as I look to my right here, you guys, there's a massive evergreen right beside me, and I do step back 30, 40 paces and shoot the barn from further back, and I get in this massive evergreen because the the brush in front of me looks like it's hoarfrost on it, and it's 25 below. It's quite cold out. So I step back and I take that shot, but right behind the evergreen is one of those steel granaries that is a newer product on the farm. So, and it's just one there, so it would be a distraction to see it. But the evergreen is so thick you can't see it right through it. And then if you pan a little bit further to the right is the original farmhouse that is falling apart that I also shot in another shot.
Uh-huh.
You know, the roof's falling in. You can see through the front windows right through to the other side of the building, and that's just a little bit further to the right. And then the little shed that I said in the back, when the light hits it and the sun gets up a little bit more, the side of that cedar just turns red, and I caught it in a later shot. So I walked around that point and got it. But the one you said, Russell, I thought the same thing. I thought, I'm going to step out to the left, get less of the foliage in the front, and shoot the barn. I did get that also, and I got, you know, more red. But when I look at all of them, this was still my favorite shot.
Mm.
Yeah, so I took it. I took 30, 40 pictures that morning there. It was just... I think it was my first morning out. I got there the evening before, first morning there, and this was my favorite catch. So I got a half a dozen barns that day or that weekend.
Road trip, road trip.
2 hours north of Winnipeg. The farm is Fisher Branch, Manitoba for me. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good for you, Martin. Well done. Linda, you're up, kid.
Okay.
Where am I?
Oh, that was fast.
Everybody's a critic.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes, sorry. Yes, we can see it. Martin, you did yours last. It's now your turn to go first.
Okay. So the bottom of the picture, I can't see it because, you know, our pictures are there on Linda's, you know, whereas normally when Russell's were on, Russell's was much taller and I could see only his picture, but when Linda's, I can't see the bottom because, you know, all of our photos are there.
At the top, you can go hide participants.
It'll be highlighted red right now.
I don't see it anyway, but so for me, what I see is that it looks like I didn't use, when I shoot like this, it's like I don't use a polarizer, and it's like I don't have my sunglasses on, and I can't see the clarity of the picture. I'm missing the clarity, and that's what I see in the picture that affects me, that I think, okay, I want to see more clarity in it, because when I'm looking further down the valley, it's more beautiful, and it's further down, and it's taking me into infinity. However, I don't know how far it is because there's mountain ranges, but I feel like I'm missing that, because even up front when I look on both sides, that's the first thing that I feel from the image is I want to see more clarity. And I, you know, in my mind, it's going to go into no matter what you do with a photograph like this, because it's so far away, it's still going to go to infinity, and you will still see the opaque kind of a look that you can't see anymore. And I don't know what causes that. Is it fog? What is it? Because it's clear out. It looks clear out. So what's causing that opaque color all over the thing? It's not rain.
No, it's probably the sunburst. I think you're referring to the sunburst in the picture.
No,
Lens flare from it.
But you know, it's between me wearing sunglasses and not. That's what it feels like for me.
Okay.
When I see that, that's what I would want to see is, you you know how when you put sunglasses on, all of a sudden everything becomes, you can see the multi-levels of color? And that's what I feel I'm missing in this photo, is the distinction of the colors are missing because of, and I don't even know that she was or was not using a circular polarizer on there. But
So
love the shot.
are you trying to say it's underexposed and you're not seeing the color in the trees?
So for me, it's overexposed.
Overexposed, right? Sorry. And you're not seeing.
So that's what I see in the picture, is like, okay, I get glare, and the glare for me is because I'm not using a polarizer. So that's what I see, but I'd like to know if Linda was using a polarizer or not, because
I did have a polarizer on.
okay, yeah, that's with polarizer, and that's interesting that it feels like there's no polarizer on there for me.
You did use a polarizer?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? Because I was thinking the same sort of thing. I would have thought that the sky would have been a little bit bluer. Yeah, I don't have much to say on this one either. It's I'm not jumping up and down. I'm seeing a lot of noise in it because of the sun flare.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of noise in it. I'm not sure if it could save you or kill you in that one. I might have tried to flip my polarizer. When you set the polarizer on it, were you canceling the reflections on the water or trying to make the sky?
I was working on the water, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reflections off the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your goal with this picture, Linda?
Well, I loved the layers, and I wanted this kind of sense of forever, infinity. I liked that, and I clearly see Martin's point, and obviously I wasn't shooting at the ideal time of day. Sun was overhead, so it's probably 11 in the morning when I was shooting this. So, and it wasn't clear that day. You know how we get that haze. There is some of that to it too, but I was drawn to it because of the kind of limitless of the scenery. So that's probably not what I conveyed.
Cool. So what do you think? What are your thoughts, Russell?
I am just looking at this, and I would like to see this as a panorama. Knock off the top third, I guess, of the image, and maybe edit out those logs there, because those really don't do anything for me. This is a very understated landscape that is all about, like you said, layers and where does it go, because you know the water keeps on going through those mountains there because there's nothing really stopping it. Sure, there might be, you know, a creek or something at the other end, but it's an adventure, this picture. The sun flare, if you're gonna have them, use them, right? Like, what I would have done in this instance is I would have just put my hand over top the lens, just to give that extra hood. Who cares if I got it in the image? Because looking at this, like if you saw the benefit of going panorama on this, like if you would have seen that image as that, you would have just covered up that sunspot on the top, and then that might have taken care of some of the mistiness that comes in. Or here's another option, actually, because that little island on the bottom right is kind of dimly lit, I would have tried to put a sunspot right on top of it, just to see what happened, because you never know. You know, if you got it, use it. You know, unless you want to get rid of it, right? But yeah, otherwise, I kind of want to go here and have my go at it because this is something that I've been driving by a place for the last 3 days every day for work, and the clouds that are set into it, like just the fog, it gives it this feel, but it's more of a trapped image than an adventure image, right? Because of the layers are steep and very heavily treed, so it would be a completely different feel than this image, but sort of the same idea of layers. And farther away you get, the more foggy it gets, and the more, well, fuzzy. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to find these kind of shots myself. So good job.
Park.
Pardon?
This is Strathcona Park Lodge.
Strathcona Park Lodge. Okay, that's up the
Gold
other
River
side.
Highway.
Pardon?
Up the Gold River Highway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the next one, Linda?
Okay, so I'm really debating about this because do I want to show you a picture I'm not happy with and you can tell me what to do, or do I want to show you a picture I'm proud of?
Show us a picture you're proud of, and we'll still pick it apart. That's the.
No doubt, no doubt.
So it depends on what you're looking for. You're looking to get a picture that would go a little bit nicer. All right, since
I love that shot.
Again, I like it as well. I think the shot is well done. It's great. I love the light coming into it. I think you could do a little bit of work with using on-one software to bring out some of the items. Things what I would do to change to try and make it a little bit better. I like the fact the way you framed it. I think you framed it well. The sun's coming through it really well. I do like that. It's just that because you could probably go back there, and because it's a spot where you can manually clean, there's a stick on the left hand.
No, I couldn't. This is Costa Rica.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You can go back anytime you want, Linda.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not. I'm telling you.
Okay, fine.
You could have went in there and pulled those couple branches out. The two sticks, one coming in from the left and the other one that kind of runs up. You might be able to get rid of those using on-one to give me that full kind of part in there. So just be the leaves.
Yeah.
I would maybe lighten it a little bit, and because the edges are so dark, it's got a natural. I don't know. Did you vignette it? I don't know. I would like to see kind of like a little more of the green and not so dark. I think that would pull it off and it still would give you that light coming through the center. That's my thought. Martin.
Geez,
His glasses on for this one. He must like it.
The shot. I don't know, what was it about it. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a canopy that you walk through, and it's like that an entrance. That's hard to capture. It's just there or it's not. I love that. I don't know. I just love the shot. I don't know what I would have done differently or anything like that. Yeah, I would have shot that like Russell was saying earlier about the barn. Every f-stop I could imagine just to see what happens, the variations. That's it. I got to shoot at a little f11 or higher, or a smaller opening, just to get that burst, and that's the part that I love about it. It's just so cool. Yeah.
Russell.
When you look inside, you want to search in there, and that's an incredible magnet. Go ahead, Russell. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's got the mystery again, right? Like what's inside there, what's inside that opening, right? Definitely it has a interesting composition because typically speaking, you don't aim dead center. Like you never aim to kill with a camera. You aim to miss, right? So you're always off center. But I think what happened with this one is because you have such a highlight on the your focal point is the middle, but then the highlighted leaves from the sunburst, right? Sort of, for me when I see this, I see the sunburst sort of, and then I go into the bottom left, and then I get sucked into the middle where it's sort of, where it's leading, to the rest of the sun. Sun flare. So yeah, it's pretty neat. There's only two things that I find kind of odd, and that they're pretty easy to take care of. I'd figure that one string on the right hand side. Like I don't know if that's just a twig or if that's a spider web or whatnot. I'm not sure, but that's kind of distracting to me because it's absorbed a lot of light and it's not really part of it. You have no idea what it is. And then in the very top right corner, you have a leaf. That's just kind of odd. Just a half second heel brush in Lightroom will take care of that, and then half a second on that one other distraction, and yeah, is pretty solid. It's an interesting picture. Done.
I like that point about taking that light down. That's good. Good points for me because you guys know far more than I do. It's very helpful for me.
What were you going to say, Linda?
I just wanted to tell you that this is what they call a cloud forest in Costa Rica. So there's a whole canopy of trees, and you're on a walkway that's kind of above the canopy. So the shot I tried in I probably have 15 shots of it. So to Martin's point, I did try it at different, and often I would lose the rays, which was an important part of it for me. And I also tried it horizontally, and I don't know, I just preferred the vertical image. So I did work it. Okay. Gentlemen.
Oh, girl.
All right, Bob, your turn.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Linda to stop sharing so she can come back to visit us. All righty. My turn. Aren't we lucky? I guess. And I got to click on myself, so hopefully you guys can see my screen.
I know exactly where that is.
But you know what? We're going to start with Martin.
Just
because Martin doesn't know where that is, so. What are your thoughts, Martin? Stop hiding. I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm not hiding. I'm just looking at everything. So it's so cool because of the white in there. That's snow covering the boardwalk. And it's just, such a fascinating shot because I got to stop and absorb it because, is that snow on the ground, Bob?
Certainly.
Okay.
That's how much snow we get in Capel River.
But the point is, though, the trees that don't have any snow on them look like they're in another world. It's like, how do you shake flour onto the ground all over the place? It's a pretty darn surreal shot for me because why is there not snow right in front of us on the right-hand side? There's no snow there, and it looks like I'm in another picture, except you see the bottom, a little bit of snow there. That's a fascinating shot because of the color capture. And then you see those spots of orange, like the leaves didn't fall there yet, the greenish orange. Holy crow, it's just so different. Yeah, that's what makes it such an interesting shot. Is it's just so darn different. So, the only thing that I would have done different, like, and I don't know, and I just comparing the two because I can't compare another one, is I would have I would have seen it underexposed, so I have less light on my monitor. It's so white in the top half because of the light coming through. Looks like there's a storm blowing in. And could I have underexposed that, or adjusted the exposure for less light? That's the only thing I see I would have done differently, is less of the white, because then maybe more of the green and the trees would have showed up. But even then, the white is interesting because it draws you in, whereas light always draws me in. So that center point in the middle, that looks like, where in the heck is that? You're drawn into that light. It's there too. So I don't know. I really like the shot because it's so different.
All right, well, Russell, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to agree with Martin. He overexposed it. It looks like it's about a stop over. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not loving it because it's just.
So, because we see it all day long.
Well, no, well, partially that. I don't know. It's kind of tough. Like maybe if it was more a story about the, if you went portrait to catch the tree growing out of the stump, the bridge, and then the trail going off to the right, I think that would have been more effective. So basically, if you're just to go 4x6, top to bottom of that, I think that's a much better image.
Alrighty. Linda, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm so glad to see a fog picture because it's so blasted hard to get a decent fog picture. So I don't believe that this is underexposed. I believe we've got a fog in the background. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know how you expose for that. Believe me, I've got dozens of pictures that don't look exposed right because they're in the fog. And so this is as close as I've seen to a good representation of what that fog looks like. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'd like to see this in black and white.
Hit V, Bob. Bob, hit
Hit B.
V, Victor.
Things are Victor.
I'd like to see it in black and white because I think that would add to the kind of ambience that we got. Oh, maybe not.
You take it back.
Well, I'm just wondering if I would have played with that a lot, but I'm just wondering if that black and white kind of gives that eerie kind of feel better than the color does. That's all.
Yeah. One other thing, Bob, is where was focus and what was the exposure on this?
Who the heck knows? I just turned around, took a shot, and walked away.
Oh, it's a snapshot. Oh.
I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Snap.
Disc. Show us your snapshots. Yeah. I just don't see anything sharp. So that's kind of why I'm asking. Like, I can't tell what kind of fuzz it is. If it was missed focus, if it was missed focus, there'd still be something sharp, right? But yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So I wasn't finished.
Oh, sorry.
I disagree with the fact that it's overexposed because on my monitor the snow is perfect, as is the tree on the right for exposure. So I believe the problem is that you're dealing with this rarefied air. So that's my comments.
That's a valid point as well, the rarefied air. Valid point, Linda.
Fair enough.
All right, now here's my nemesis.
Where is that?
This is my nemesis. This is a place that's Brown River Falls.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
And this place drives me up the wall. I haven't got that perfect shot of here. So, Martin,
Yeah.
the path that you just saw
Yep.
is into this set of falls.
Okay. Yep. That little footbridge.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Yep.
that's the path into this set of falls.
Okay.
So this is I believe, a panoramic, and this one was taking a while. But I've been in here about 3 or 4 times, and it's one of those. This is the first time I was in there. There was actually snow.
When was it?
Pardon me?
When did you go in?
January, sometime in January.
Oh, okay.
Sometime in January. So this is I've been here 3 or 4 times trying to get that just perfect picture. So we'll go with Russell first this time.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think. Well, I did think of it, but I just didn't feel like stumbling down the, climbing down with all my camera gear and everything.
No
But
guts, no glory.
pardon?
No guts, no glory.
Oh, the panorama they just showed you the other day or earlier. I was up to my knees and not in rubber boots. So there's guts. Don't worry. I'm just not going to do anything silly when I'm out in the middle of nowhere with 10% on my phone. Just for don't want to have Sam get worried about me. When I don't show up in 5 hours. But anyways, to the point. I think I will actually be heading back there here soon as well, because I know there's some shots that I still would like to get. Not this style, so yeah, but the technical aspects of it. So it was still foggy there, obviously. I wonder if you could add a touch of clarity to like a gradient top down with clarity and vibrance added to it, just to sort of snap that up a touch, bring it through the mist. The exposure time on the water makes it look pretty neat, actually. Like it's kind of a strange long exposure in my mind, but it makes it look like it's all ice, like icicles and all that sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Did you use a polarizer on it?
I don't think so. I didn't really have to. It was foggy.
I just had to ask, Bob.
It's foggy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to Linda. Your thoughts, Linda?
So, Bob, how many shots was this?
I'm thinking maybe 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I've never done a panorama, and
this was a handheld panoramic, by the way.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never done a panorama, but having been to this spot, it's obviously the way to shoot it because you got the size, so I have some sense of how big the place is. I like how the water looks. I like that little bit of detail in the water as opposed to all white. So I really prefer that. I'm a little concerned about the left-hand side. I'm wondering if that snow is blown a bit and if the exposure on it could be brought down. And the other thing that's really irritating me is about a third of the way up in the trees, there's a sign there, and I would take that out.
Yeah, it is overexposed a little bit. I have to agree because of the snow on the left-hand side. I did notice that as well. I agree. Yeah. All right, Martin, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I like the image, Bob. When you talk about this path on the left-hand side, and you're standing there, and it looks like the path is cropped, and you're shooting out. how I would have done this differently, and you can try this if you haven't already, Bob, is when you're standing further back, and you're standing to the right, and you're standing back, I don't know if it's 20, 40, 60, 80 paces back, and then you shoot towards that left point, because this all is in the foreground for me, these rocks, and yet you'd think, how come they're not moving me? It's a nice shot, but they're not moving me. So if I looked at it from a different angle and I was standing further back and I shot towards that little left-hand side waterfall, would that change the whole aspect of the photograph? Because I did that with the barn that that we were talking about earlier. Remember, Russell said get away from the shrub and stand in and shoot the barn, and I did, and I didn't like it. So that's what I would try with this one. That was the impression I got from this waterfall. When you talk about, well, move to the left, move to the right. Anyways, if I was to go there again, I would shoot it and look further down so that I'm not looking at it straight on. That's the only thing that I could see in doing differently that would give it just a different twist, because they're really unique waterfall. But if you look down at it, it was more like looking down the line. Would it look neater? I really like Russell's point about bringing that graduated clarity slider down, because I only now know that we can do that in Lightroom. I don't have Photoshop. But anyways, I love that concept, and it just to bring a little bit more saturation and clarity. That was a great point for me, Russell, because I'm learning.
I'm going to throw one more thing in there if I can.
Nope, that's it. You're done.
No, fine. I'll throw it in there anyway. I know how I'm going to shoot this, but it's being wet, Bob. Are you okay with that?
I'm always wet. That's part of the fun of being in there.
Go for it.
How deep is it? Probably 15, 20 feet into the water there, straight to the right.
It might be up to your ankles.
Oh, really? Well, why didn't you get that shot?
Because I didn't want to walk in the water, didn't have my boots.
No adventure. What did you just say?
I didn't want to walk on the water. At least I had the guts to climb down the hill.
But yeah, you need hip waders to go.
Ankles.
But you want good boots for that for sure.
Nah.
But Russell, you're saying the same thing, to shoot it from that other angle, right, and look further down. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was thinking that just as okay, but the closer you get to something when you're shooting a panorama, right? It's pretty much the exact same thing as if you're using a fisheye or anything wide angle. Is that if you get closer to that one face, right? It's gonna basically get huge, and then what's in the distance is gonna fall off and taper, right? So that's and then those rocks on the left-hand side would also, well, if you swung over that far, they would sort of point you to the distance.
You have to be careful because there's a huge culvert on the left-hand side.
What's what Photoshop's for?
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Yeah, it's not Photoshop. It's killing yourself. It's getting there.
Well, that's
It's a tricky trail because it's not really.
Exactly.
The trail's there, and then you have to go off of it, because if you don't, then you're gonna have to, you'll have to get wet in some unknown depth of water because it's under grass, and it's like So, yeah, I strongly recommend backtracking instead of trying to find the trail from the water side of that, because it just leads you to nowhere.
let me do this. See if I can find these for you.
So, can I just ask a question while we're kind of in limbo here? How do you shoot that fog? You guys, what do you do? Underexpose or expose or what?
Let me pull up a shot here.
So, Martin,
Yep.
there's the trail that you have to go down. See that rope?
Yes.
I'm working on it, Linda.
Wow.
That's sheer ice going down the side of the hill.
With your camera gear, man alive.
So that's what you have to crawl down. How did I shoot in the fog?
No, I'm asking how you do. I mean, we've had lots of fog around here, and I can't get a good picture.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed a lot, well, and we have a lot of deep fog, and the fog's not white, it's gray.
Exactly.
It's a gray color. So that's one of the things. For that one there, I just ignored the fog, same as the other one. Basically, I metered on my subject, and the fog was going to do whatever it did. I really didn't worry about it or care about it. So that's what I did, and then it just came out white. So that's
So Linda, this shot right here.
One that I gave a try to, and I couldn't make it work, and I tried it every way come Sunday, and it was set up perfectly. But look, it's just blah.
Because it is blah. It's flat lighting.
Yeah.
It's always going to be flat lighting. Cloudy days and foggy days are going to be flat lighting.
So you really want mist as opposed to fog, right?
I think it's more important to get time of day. Like if you take a look at my screen here, Linda, the shot that I have there was first thing in the morning, like as soon as the sun came up.
Yeah,
right?
but that's the same as mine. It's blah, yeah?
But, let me see here. Let me just pop over here to Lightroom. That's the image that I pulled out of it, right? And it's like I have to agree with Bob for once. It's exposing more for the subject of the image, and making sure that it's in your it is in your foreground, because the farther things get into the fog, the more they disappear, right? So having something close, focusing on it, and then allowing the fog to eat up the background of distractions of whatever you don't like in this case the skyline, the reflection, right? Like the fog just eats it up gradually. The most important thing should be very close to you. So that's all I really have to say about fog. It's make sure your subject is very close. Pardon?
Very tough to shoot.
It is. It's a pain. But
Love that shot though, Russell.
Thank you.
Love that dock as a gorgeous shot.
Yep, it's going to be hung up in the Serious Coffee show here soon.
Good stuff.
Okay, so that's an hour and 20 minutes, guys. So I'm going to stop the broadcasting. So all you people out on YouTube who are watching this, hopefully you enjoyed. You learned something, and we'll share this when we have a chance. So we'll see you next time on the Two Photonauts Critique. Everybody else can stick around.